I am standing in the middle of Match of the Matriarchs, which is believed to be the only known life-size chess set created by a female featuring all female pieces. Dodson began this project in 2016 when she was working on an exhibition in Massachusetts. She wanted to come up with a subject that was somehow related to that area, and she was heavily influenced by the large-scale sculptures on the end of ship prows, which often were female, and depicted mermaids or sometimes the captain's wives. She imagined what would happen if you took those sculptures off of the ships. She was also influenced by underwater sea battles between giant squids and whales. She decided to use the subjects as the chess pieces instead of male figures as female figures that also represented underwater creatures. Here we have two warring groups, the cephalopods, which are represented by the octopus, the cuttlefish, and squid, and the cetaceans, which are orcas, narwhals, and elephant seals. These chess pieces are movable and meant to be played. What Donna was trying to do is take away that bird's eye view of the game and have people completely immersed within the game, very similar to how chess was played in the Harry Potter movies. The chess pieces are so beautifully carved, and she was definitely influenced by her mentor, Joseph Wheelwright, who taught her how to carve. They also played chess together, though Dodson often talks about how much better he was than her, and he would take away some of the key pieces so that she could play against him, though he always beat her. Dodson has beautiful little details on these pieces, as she does with her other sculptures in this show, including 8 fingers on the octopus, as well as 8 feet. The octopus are also wearing shoes, as some of her other sculptures have. Dodson is selective with her wood, as that certain types of wood definitely lend themselves better to certain carvings. She's often gifted wood, and she will find some of it in Massachusetts, but the majority of the wood does come from Illinois, where she grew up. The World Chess Hall of Fame commissioned Donna Dodson to create a new piece for this exhibition. She chose this subject. This is called the Mad Woman of Chess. This piece will now be a part of our permanent collection, and we can show it over and over again in future exhibitions. So the game of chess has been in existence for centuries. One major rule change was made, and it started really around the year 1000. And they took all of the male figures, or the male pieces on the board, and they added a female figure. They changed the vizier to a queen. Now, one of the reasons that they believe that this happened is there was a rise of really strong, powerful queens in Europe, and they kind of felt that that was being reflected in the game. Now, not everybody loved this change. In fact, in the 16th century, there were a lot of written criticisms of how the game changed, and they called it the Mad Woman's Game because they didn't like how powerful the queen was. Dodson created this piece called the Mad Woman of Chess to kind of reflect that change because she's really promoting powerful women. Dodson took this piece of wood, which has a lot of stripes in it, and so she felt like that represented tiger stripes in this very fierce sculpture that also has these bright red teeth kind of showing blood on them. She likes to take a historical woman or a fictional woman to kind of base these sculptures on, and in this fact, she took Caterina Sforza, who was a very strong Italian leader. And legend has it that she was kidnapped, and they kidnapped her children, and they threatened to kill them. And she pulled up her dress, and she was pregnant at the time, and she said, "I have another child in me, and I can make more." They wanted to show her true power and the true power of the queen in the game of chess. The sculpture Tomboy might be my favorite in the exhibition. It's based on the character Mulan, who started showing up in Chinese history in the 5th century. Mulan is a tale where a woman took the place of her father in a male army as they were attempting to defeat the Huns who were invading from the north. She tricked everybody into believing that she was male, and she fought in the army with distinction for over a decade. She returns back to her family afterwards and reveals that she is in fact herself. She is celebrated by everybody, becomes a hero, and goes back to her female domestic duties. In the original tale, Mulan states that a male rabbit has big paws and a female rabbit squints, so you can tell them apart when you're up close. But when they're out being fierce and running, you can't tell the difference between them, relating to the fact that she was able to trick everybody in the army. Dodson chose this stance to kind of show power. The ears are back, The arms are folded in front of her in a powerful stance. It also could be interpreted that she is trying to cover up her breast as she is trying to show herself as a male in the army. Dodson is always talking about how tall she is as a person, and she is also named after her father, and she feels like she is tall like him and looks like him. She has tomboy and these big shoes as kind of filling the shoes of her father. Her tattoo is a hybrid design that Donna created, which is the Mercury symbol and the Venus symbol. If you look closely, it looks like rabbit's ears. This sculpture, Beatrice Cenci, is based on an actual living woman. Beatrice Cenci was brutally executed at the age of 22 in 1599. She lived under the rule of her very abusive father, who was cruel to not only Beatrice, but other members in her family. Beatrice, her lover, and other members of her family decided to murder her father. They poisoned him, they beat him, and they threw him over a balcony to make it look like an accident. The trial was actually quite public, and everybody believed that he was guilty and that they were innocent and acting in self-defense. However, the courts were terrified that if they let her and the others go, it would be promoting familial murder around Rome. So she was sentenced, as well as other people that were involved. Beatrice then became really well known as a symbol against oppression from the government. She was represented all throughout art, in sculptures, in painting, in operas, in literature. She is still very well known today. Donna was from the New England area, where Harriet Hosmer also created a lot of her art. So she was heavily influenced by her and her power as a female artist in the 19th century. Donna decided to represent Beatrice as a minotaur because there is believed to be an unhealthy relationship between a female and a beast, kind of similar to the relationship that Cenci's father had with her. And Dodson decided to have a rotting piece of wood represent the head of her father on the sculpture. In addition to Donna Dodson's beautiful sculptures, we added additional elements to this exhibition, including chess sets from our permanent collection and several loaned to us by Chess Collectors International. There's a variety of these sets that range anywhere from wood to porcelain to shells to scrimshaw, and that's because we wanted to bring out marine and other nautical ideas to show the variety of chess sets that are made. We have over 1,300 chess sets on our own permanent collection, so we're always very excited to show as many of those as possible. In addition, the ones that were lent to us are from a group called Chess Collectors International, who are great friends to the World Chess Hall of Fame. They are celebrating their 40th anniversary this year, and we wanted to help honor them and everything that they do for us and chess collecting in this exhibition.